Hello everybody and welcome to the latest edition of the True Potential Do More With Your Money podcast. Today we're talking about the month of May. It's strange to think we're already nearly at the halfway point of the year, but we're going to do a bit of a recap of the month of May and get into all of the numbers, the facts and the figures. So today I'm joined by Charlotte, by George and by David, specialists in each of their areas. And before we sort of dive into each of those areas, just to give some of the top level figures in the month, and the dust is just about settled. I think the ink's still wet, being very early in June, but we have the May figures hot off the press. £445 million of new business being entrusted by True Potential clients, by financial advisors which is a fantastic result. A great number out of that, £16 million of that was impulse saves. So, you know, that's a product we'll get into maybe a little bit later on, but a product which is getting real traction, real, you know, good usage from our clients. But also assets now as of today sits at £31 billion as well. So great numbers in new flows coming through, but also joining the book of business that we already have today. So what great numbers to kind of start the podcast off. And what I would always say to anybody listening today, whether you've contributed in the month of May or previously, you know, we think it's a real privilege to look after clients' money, whether that be part of their investment or indeed their pension. So there's some great numbers to kickstart. And what else we had in May? We had a really busy month getting on the road, out and about. George, you joined the team for the first time on the regional seminars. How did you find that?
I did. I absolutely loved it. I've been with the business since 2016, so I know a lot of the advisors well, but mainly through them coming to head office or speaking on the phone. So it was great just to get out on the road and showcase what we're doing across the group, you know, all different areas presenting. You know, we covered the investment management section, which was, you know, just setting the scene for the case which we had for last year in terms of our market outlook, how we were positioning. You know, it was a tough first 10 months of last year, but investors were significantly rewarded for remaining in their seats over the last 6 months. And it was great just to be able to get out on the road and say, this is what we did within your portfolios, this is what was delivered, and this is how we see the landscape and for you looking ahead. But just a great way of engaging with advisors. Absolutely.
And I know kind of we do a lot of content such as this podcast through, you know, here in our studio and using all of this fantastic equipment, but we're still quite old school. We get out on the road. So when we use the term seminar, that's going out to see our financial advisors in their locality. So 10 venues, 4 countries. It sounds exotic, but it's Scotland, Wales, Ireland and England. We had over 800 advisors attend, which is a great number. You know, that's on average 80 advisors per session, which is great. And I'm saying old school, it's actually probably just more different to the rest of the industry, where a lot of our advisors say that they don't hear from anybody else. Nobody else has gone to, you know, hotels just off a motorway in Coventry, for example. But it's something we've done since we launched, and it's something, you know, only really the pandemic stopped for a short time, and we're very keen to get back out.
Great enthusiasm in the rooms as well.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody really embracing what we're doing across the business, and you know, you can't get that enthusiasm, you know, from the screen. It's great to get in the room and just feel it.
Yeah,
and it came through certainly in the feedback.
Yeah, well, the feedback you've gave me my next stat there, George, which is 4.7 out of 5, which is the rating from our advisors for the overall experience. And as you say, we had investment management, we had a technology session, which, you know, David will probably get into some of that later. An update from, say, our senior partner team. So, you know, CEO and CIO out on the road and talking to advisors in person, which is what the advisors really appreciate. Is getting time with not just, say, the team on the ground like ourselves, but also right up to the management team at the top, which is always, I think, good to show face and really thank the advisors for what they give us over time. So no, that a very busy 3 weeks it was on the road, and I'm personally glad to be back at the office and with you all, and not sitting on the back of a bus travelling from one city to the next, but very, very worthwhile. And, you know, George, you're probably going to get invited back now. That's the main thing. So hope you're looking forward to it.
With pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
Good. Well, Charlotte, I'll bring you in because obviously it's very top level figures of the money that comes in. You know, the 445 million. It's a lot of money, but just breaking down some of the statistics from the relationship management team.
Yeah, so kind of over the month of May, we answered over 10,000 phone calls. We answered over 2,000 live chats, so a very, very busy month for May. We still did a fantastic job making sure they were answered really, really quickly, so still answering everything in under a minute. The team have done a fantastic job to make sure we spoke to all of those clients. A lot of the key themes that were kind of coming through when we were speaking with clients, with it being kind of still at the very, very start of the tax year, a lot of impulse saves, helping clients do that. A lot of help with online drawdown requests, so helping clients access their money. And a lot of questions about tax as well, with it being kind of the very, very start of the new tax year. Clients just calling up, asking how that works, speak with a financial advisor if need be.
Yeah, I know that one of the podcasts we've just done regarding the political landscape, I know has got a lot of clients thinking as well and sort of think, what does this mean for me? What does it mean for my pension and tax allowances? And although we can't predict the future, I think a lot of people are almost certain what's going to come in the next few months, and I think we've had a lot of clients sort of, you know, questioning what that might mean as well. So the team are on hand, and I think the stat you've said there, within 1 minute, you know, crikey, your kettle hasn't even boiled by the time you're speaking to somebody at True Potential. And I know from ringing other companies that's just not the case, is it? So
yeah, definitely. No, I mean, clients get through to us extremely quickly. It's something that we're really pride ourselves on. Yeah,
and I think that shows through, doesn't it? Clients do ring us up. How many thousands in a month? 10,000, and I can't even fathom how many calls that is a day. But it shows that actually clients enjoy ringing us, because a lot of customers ring, say, more than just once a year. They're often speaking to the team, so it means they're satisfied from what they're getting on this. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of the clients that we do speak to, they do call us up kind of time and time again for like technology help or booking to speak with an advisor. And we have some really, really good relationships with these clients. Like, we ask about how their children are doing, we ask about the pets. The amount of conversations that you hear kind of around the desk, I thought, someone's got this dog or someone's just got a new puppy. It's always lovely to hear.
It is. It's exactly why I always encourage people to ring up the line. I know we've got live chat and other technologies, and again, I'm probably taking away from David and his technology hat here, but nothing sometimes can beat just picking up the phone and speaking to a person. So that's...
And it's key that they get through to somebody who's well trained, like we're having the team as well, so you're not going round and round a switchboard, you're getting through to somebody very quickly who can help you with your questions.
Absolutely agree, George. And when you guys were out on the road, obviously we're talking about the markets to financial advisors and the product and the proposition. So I think, as per, can we have an update from yourself in regards to what we're seeing as a team? How did May look, and what we're looking in June as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a pretty good backdrop for a diversified portfolio. So if you've got economic growth and inflation in a range of around 1 to 4%, then a portfolio can do pretty well. And that's exactly what we're seeing at this point in time. So in terms of the balanced portfolio, that performed positive in the month, 0.95% after portfolio charges. So over the last 12 months, that portfolio is up 10.5%. And then the aggressive portfolio, where you've got more equities, more stocks and shares in there, that was up 1.14% in the month, so 15.3% over the last 12 months. So this is a good backdrop for being invested. And what's encouraging as we look ahead is what we're seeing in terms of the economic growth. It's not just coming in the United States, which is where it's been centred for a long time. And it's not just about the service sector, which includes technology businesses. It's much broader. We're seeing breadth in terms of positive economic revisions come through in the UK, in Europe, across manufacturing sectors as well, which is supportive for profits for businesses more widely. Think about the UK. We've reverted back into positive economic growth territory, albeit fairly weak, 0.6% in the first quarter. We're seeing inflation, which at headline levels just 0.3% ahead of that 2% target. And Andrew Bailey's give a nod to the fact that we could see interest rates come down in the summer of this year. So that backdrop in itself probably incentivised Sunak to come out and bring to life in the markets the general election. So good tailwind of economic data behind him. That came out. The market reaction through the course of the month was relatively modest, not much reaction from bond markets or the currency markets. Indeed, I think focus of the markets is much more on the international stage, looking at what we're seeing in economies like the United States. What we're seeing in the United States is a slightly different dynamic. It's actually the fact that economic growth is so strong, consumers are in such a good position. They haven't had the same pressures we've had in the UK of higher mortgage costs, because they can get 30-year mortgages and set them at incredibly low interest rates. The economy is actually putting upward pressure on inflation. So it's been a real battle actually over the last couple of months for US inflation to get back down to target, and therefore the number of interest rate cuts which are expected in the US has been pushed out. Doesn't mean that they won't come, it just means that it's more likely to be next year when we see those. In Europe, you've seen inflation which has been coming down quite quickly, although on Friday the data showed a slight hiccup, ticked up slightly from 2.7 to 2.9%. But actually the market is still very much of the belief that the European Central Bank can actually bring interest rates down this week. So that would be the first of the major economies. So that's taken us past, pandemic, interest rates higher, held for a period of time. Now we could actually be seeing some cuts come through. So all in all, it's been a good month for equity markets. You're seeing a bit more breadth, which is encouraging for how we build portfolios. Bonds have been pretty well behaved, despite a number of political announcements, UK and international. Positive returns out of government bonds of around 2%, and corporate bonds as well of around 1.8%. Your diversifiers such as gold, they've been positive, up 1.8% as well. In the dollar, it's just been slightly softer, so pound has strengthened as a result. So yeah, pretty encouraging for our positioning. Pleased to see those numbers come through our portfolio level for clients as well. As we look ahead into June, inflation will still be a very important aspect of what we're reviewing, but economic growth will also be key in that. I think we've got a pretty good handle in terms of where we're going inflation-wise. Some of the changes we were making in the portfolios were more about diversifying against inflation accelerating from here rather than economic growth decelerating. So built our allocation to Schroeder, who are a good diversifier for us in that type of scenario. Central bank policy and corporate earnings will also be key as well. Economics and political economics will become more into focus as we head through the summer, particularly in the US as well, with the November elections looming. Yeah.
Just thought I'd give your team a bit of a plug actually, George, because I had an advisor who was up in head office last week looking to join True Potential, so not with us at the moment, like the look of the technology, the support and the offering. And he actually took me to one side and he says the morning market videos done by True Potential, he and all of his colleagues in his current firm use them.
Right.
They use them for up-to-date information, they use them for what the markets are doing, and in some cases they even push it through to their clients at the moment. And they're not with True Potential. And I was thinking, geez, that's quite an accolade when, yes, our advisors use it and our clients listen to them as well. But the fact that an advisor, because his own network isn't publishing or producing that level of information, and I think for me it's the granularity of just getting that daily information of what's going on is fantastic. But no, I appreciate the update as well. And probably on a similar note, David, I'll bring you in. I hope you don't mind us saying this, but you were, before we came into this podcast room, we were just stood at my desk and you were a bit doom and gloom, and you said, we're going to have to get our heads together and get on with the next big build, because you always like having the next big idea, and you sort of saying, the team aren't up to much. I bet you're up to much, up to a lot compared to a lot of other people who are just sort of reactive and the rest. But give us just a bit of an insight as to what not up to much means to you, because I know you're one of the busiest guys I've met.
Yeah, thanks for that, Greg. No, it's a funny comment, because I think we hold ourselves to such a high standard in terms of the technology that we're building.
Yeah.
But also as a company, as the technology arm of the company, what we're quite keen to ensure is that we're building technology that the end client, the end user or the end advisor is seeing on a day-to-day basis. And we're able to do that because we own all of our own technology. So we focus on what the end user is actually interacting with, as opposed to what you might see elsewhere, where a technology firm spends a lot of time on integration, a lot of time on data migration, a lot of time on cleaning up a legacy solution. So for us, what we always want to be doing is building those features that the end client values. So to Charlotte's point, when we talk about kind of clients calling in and making those conversations worthwhile, making that personalised, making that client, making it clear that we're up to speed with the client. We've obviously, in the last month, we've been, well, and I know Greg, you were demonstrating some of this at the seminars, launching features around artificial intelligence on the back end. So actually, as an end client, you don't necessarily see this, but when you're talking to Charlotte's team, or when you're talking to the centrally advised advisor teams, what we've actually got going on now is we've got elements of artificial intelligence transcribing the conversation and ensuring that the key points are picked out, so that if there are any follow-up actions, it actually makes it even more accurate for that advisor to document that and act on it. Going back to the comment around, what have we launched that an end client sees this month? Probably the biggest feature is the annual suitability reviews. So this is a feature that's already launched. We had a huge overhaul of that at the beginning of this year. And what we've changed now is that rather than waiting for 2 weeks before the suitability review is due, what we've done is we've increased the time frame on that, so end clients can actually see this within the portal, within the site, up to 90 days before the review is due. Again, that is actually a nice feature for a client, because that review allows you to not just see all of your figures within your client portal, but give you a bit of a year-end summary, explain it in a much more user-friendly way to say, well, actually, these were your contributions and withdrawals, this was your income and your expenditure, and allows you to interact with that data as well as beneficiaries and what have you in there. So I'd say that's the biggest headline for this month. I think that's the most valuable feature for end clients. But alongside that, we've had missing pensions this month as well. We've had that feature on web, where if we're assisting you with finding missing pension pots, that's now fully integrated into your mobile application. So again, using technology, we're not sending letters through the post, we're not causing delays or any of those types of issues. You can actually see that instantly in real time within your mobile app as well as your client site. And then finally, a feature that's actually going live this week, which again is really important to us, is with regards to client servicing and the good work Charlotte's team and the centrally advised advisors can offer, is we're bringing a feature into the site and the app which allows end clients to go in and actually say, well, do True Potential offer tax advice, or can we help with inheritance planning? Because one of the problems we've identified through some of the feedback is sometimes clients don't realise that we can help with that. So this feature gives a lot more information about what those services are and how we can help. But again, sticking on the technology point, click a button, book an advisor meeting directly, and it's instantly in the diary. So it's a funny one. So maybe we are quite busy.
Exactly why I brought the point up, David. Any other company would be, shouting this from the rooftops, and yourself and the team do a wonderful job of, for want of a better term, sticking to your knitting and doing a grand job of making sure the technology supports the team, doesn't replace but supports it.
Absolutely.
And you've talked about artificial intelligence there, which is something that goes over my head, but I've just presented it to 800 plus financial advisors on the road. The feedback went down incredibly well. The main reason is we're using it to enhance. It's always important to make sure that it's there to either help a user or help an advisor within the system, help with navigation, and all the things you've mentioned there, helping people complete their annual suitability review, which is a vital task, but actually an enjoyable task. Helping people find missing pensions if they are unable to, making that automated end-to-end. It's all benefiting the end user, because if you have, the average person has 7, 8, 9 jobs throughout their lifetime, and they may have lost a pension. It sounds a daft thing of, where have I lost it? Well, get in touch with the team, use the technology and go and find it, and it's end-to-end. You might help somebody just by saying, not being up to much, but you've You've helped deliver people's pensions to them. So it's a fantastic bit of work. And because sometimes we always want to be doing all them big builds at the top, sometimes those ones that you may perceive as not that difficult, but actually the end result for users at the other side is always valued.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What we're thinking about AI then, everybody, what's kind of around the table, because I don't want to walk past it, because a lot of my mind before presenting on it was, it's a neat little chat bot, and then when you told me all about what we're doing with it, I'm thinking, geez, that's quite the opposite. What's the thoughts on it, David?
I think you kind of have almost walked past the key philosophy, the key comment with regards to AI from True Potential's point of view is our view of artificial intelligence is that it will enhance the servicing that we're able to offer to our end clients. So that can be enhancements in the sense that we can pick up a secure message or a live chat in real time automatically 24 hours a day. So for example, if you're struggling to log into your client portal and it's 2:00 in the morning, AI will assist with that. It's not just, I forgot my password. It can be, actually I forgot my login details, and we can use it for that purpose. But to the client servicing element as well, you're on the phone to a client servicing advisor or a relationship management team. What you're inevitably going to ask questions about your account. Now, we've all been on calls where it's like, okay, I'll just place you on hold while I go and find that information. What we're using AI to do is actually find that information a lot quicker in near real time, so that you're not sat on hold for 2-3 minutes. So I think for me, every step of our implementation is use it to enhance the client's experience, use it to enhance our financial advisor's experience, as opposed to trying to replace anything with it, because the reality is that the people of True Potential is what actually offers the value to the client. It's that relationship, knowing what type of dog they've got, knowing what the client's been up to that weekend. We really don't want to lose that feel.
Very important, David. I think, Charlotte, David's mentioned the facility to remind people of what they get from True Potential. I normally always just say on the podcast, or any time I speak to anybody, is just ring us up, find out what you get, because it's very likely we will do it. But just, you're doing 10,000 plus calls and 2,000 messages. Just give us a quick overview. What should clients be doing if they're unsure?
If they're unsure, they can give us a call straight away. And remember, the team would be more than happy to help them. But the app, the client side's absolutely fantastic. You can completely self-service through the app and through the technology. But just for those little bits of extras, any technology help, assistance booking appointments, impulse save, everything like that, they could just give us a call. And
the booking appointments with the advisor, just because, again, I was in a lucky position to present this on the road to the advisors, and they were blown away by it, and I genuinely mean they were blown away by the in-house offer that we have, where clients can log in. Just give if I'm a client and I need some tax help, as we mentioned earlier, I can just book an appointment.
Yeah, you can. For clients who are serviced by head office, they can log into their client site, log into their app. They'll have some options on there for them. They can select what their availability is, have a look when our advisors are available. They'll receive a confirmation, and everything's done through the app when they have that video call or that phone call. They won't have to download kind of any third-party software. It's all done via the app. So really, really easy process if they do want to speak with an advisor.
I think the other thing on the kind of the hybrid of technology versus personal servicing is we work extremely hard to make the app and the site as easy to use and as clear as possible. We understand there's a confidence element there where if you've never done this before, you may well be a little bit unsure. So some of the features with the screen sharing and what have you with the client, the RMT team is, look, we'll hold your hand, we'll watch over your shoulder as you complete this for the first time, to again educate and help clients to maybe have the confidence to do that next time.
When you do kind of walk around the office and listen to some of the team's phone calls, the most of what you'll hear them doing is speaking with brand new clients, demonstrating the technology, kind of educating them how to use and utilise all these features of the client site. And what you'll then find is that the client won't need us next time. They'll just kind of log in and do everything themselves.
I think in summarising what we were up to in May, it's almost like we sometimes need to take a step backwards and go, we've done a heck of a lot, whether it's from an investment perspective, technology or support, and sometimes you can almost forget the job you do because you do it all the time. I think, you know, new changes to the annual suitability review, helping people find missing pensions, helping people be more aware of where to go. That's a good month, David. So but we will come up with the next big idea after this, I promise. We'll have something on the horizon. As well, what I wanted to talk about is just the charity for the month as well, because I know we tend not to talk the talk with charity, we walk the walk, and that's not a pun for this month's charity, where we are going to be doing a heck of a lot of walking. But May, for me, the charity was one which was almost the epitome of why we do what we do each month, because you had Russell Maben, who works with yourself, David, one of our developers, a senior developer, the Nicole and Jessica Rich Foundation, which is something that's close to his heart. You know, it was something that actually, and I don't think he'll mind me saying this, Russell stood up in front of the whole company and emotionally explained why this charity meant what it meant to him. The team then immediately got round him and raised over £5,000, which is of which the foundation has already said that is just almost too much funds raised, because it's not the type of donation they normally get. It is a phenomenal amount of money. What's better, the company matches it, so over £10,000 straight into the charity, which is a great achievement. But for me, it was the staff getting behind a member of the team, which is a good thing to see. We do a monthly charity, and it's either for nominated by a colleague of ours or one of our advisors, or indeed one of our clients who'll say, this is a charity that I wouldn't mind working with. But it was also the involvement from Russell. He decided to walk 58 miles from Throckley to Carlisle, which is almost end to end.
Yeah.
You're laughing because you had to deal with them for the couple of days after.
Well, I had the pleasure of hearing some of the stories from the training for that. So he walked with another one of the developers on some of the practice runs. And one of the stories I heard was that he physically could not get out of bed the day after, which I was quite pleased about, actually.
Yeah.
This guy, good to hear. But I think Russell's put so much effort into this charity and for the company to get behind as well. I think is phenomenal.
And normally when you walk and you want a nice destination at the other side, and he had Carlisle. No comment on that one. But a big well done to Russell, I think, and well done to the team for getting behind him. And Russell put a heck of a lot of effort in, to the point where he got a signed Alan Shearer shirt, and he done a raffle for that as well. He went really above and beyond, which is a great sort of really spectacle, highlighting a cause in need, but a cause that we all backed. So on that note, good news. I don't know if this is news to you guys, but it was to me when I was reading my notes before coming in. But True Potential has extended its partnership with the Newcastle United Foundation for another year. A great cause again. We've all seen firsthand some of the work that's done down at the foundation. So that's a good thing to note. And I saw our management team were in the Harrison Foundation classroom a couple of weeks ago with a couple of the players, and the big thing that I got told, I wasn't able to attend, but what I got told was how engaged the players were with the children there as well. So that was a big tick in the box as well.
Yeah, it's another one, Greg, where both yourself and we've had the privilege of going to one of the awards do. Certainly I went to the last awards do, and actually seeing some of the kids and the people who've been helped by the foundation come up on stage, talk about their progression in terms of how they've addressed some of the challenges they've had, but as you say, the Newcastle United players getting really involved with that as well was really lovely to see.
Yeah, there seems to be some good synergy there, isn't there, between the community and the two almost organisations working hand in hand. So that's good news. And the last one is June, where we have, and that's where I said the walk and the walk pun wasn't intended. We are all walking 100 miles minimum each. It's probably news to use again as well. So we've brought in some treadmills. I don't know if you saw, but we've got some treadmills located at the back end of the office. We might be able to cut a picture of them in, and everybody is encouraged either before, during or after work to get their walking shoes or running shoes if you're that way inclined. But to basically, this is Luke McGrath, who's head of our marketing team. Luke is looking to participate in doing the challenge himself, walking 100 mile, and this is for a dementia charity, Dementia UK. And what we've all done almost behind his back secretly is said we'll be with you. So we're all going to get our shoes on and raise some money at the same time. So I don't know if you've had any practice and if you'll need a lie in the next day, David.
I'll definitely be one of those who are struggling with it.
Yeah, but we've got the treadmills in, so there's no excuses. So you can bring your trainers in and walk. But we're encouraging all of the team, basically. So an email's going out today, being the first working day of the month, and everybody's going to be taking part, which is a good cause. And George is looking a little bit nervous now.
I am. We'll get started now.
get your miles in early. Yeah. Well, look, thank you, team. I think it's been a fantastic month, and we should never walk past all of our milestones and achievements. So on that note, I would like to thank everybody for joining us today and taking on board some of the facts, figures, statistics and information from the team. As ever, do please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.